A federal judge who has presided over the legal fight about foster care in Texas for years will be removed from the case. This week, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed its earlier decision to reassign Judge Janice Jack. Just hours before the court's order, a new report came out and revealed details about the deaths of several children in the state's care. Joining us now for some insight about all of this is KXAN's Avery Travis, who has been following this case for years. Avery, thanks for being here, but let's start with what's in this report. It's heartbreaking, to put it simply.
Yeah, it's hard to read, as many of these reports are. This one in particular details the stories of several kids who are in what's known as the permanent managing conservatorship of the state, PMC kids as they're often referred to. That's basically the long-term care of the state of Texas. And these are the kids who have really been at the heart of this case. Their treatment has for years, since the case was filed back in 2011. But this latest report that was released this week outlines how one child died while at a movie theater. They were there with staff and other residents from a residential treatment facility in Greenville, Texas. Another child died from an injury in a car accident. They were out while running away from an emergency shelter. The report goes on to detail another child who died from a fentanyl overdose, and this happened while they were staying in a respite care home. Advocates say that each of these stories raise questions about whether the Texas system is safe for kids. That's something, Will, that we've heard the state and its attorneys argue again, that they've made, huge leaps and bounds in reforming the system over the years that this lawsuit has progressed. Keep in mind, though, this report is just the latest, as you mentioned, published by some folks known as the court monitors. They're people appointed by Judge Jack years ago, and they're tasked with checking on whether the state is making those court-ordered reforms and changes that Jack has outlined. Now, these reports have often contained some hard-to-read, some shocking revelations about children in the system, and they have really driven a lot of the conversation and movement in this case over the years.
And now Judge Jack will not even be presiding over that case anymore.
This latest order from the Fifth Circuit really confirms that. But this is something that we actually told you about back in October. That is when 3 judges from the Court of Appeals, ruled to try and remove her from this case. It all started when Judge Jack slapped some hefty daily fines on the state for what she believed were violations to her court-ordered reforms. The state then turned and pushed for her removal. They argued, quote, her open hostility towards the state, and that's the governor, that's the agencies that oversee child welfare. They argued that she was being hostile towards them, and it called into question her ability to remain impartial. A panel of 3 judges from the Fifth Circuit then agreed, starting this process towards her removal. Attorneys representing the kids, though, however, pushed back. They argued that Jack should win a medal for the work that she's done, reforming the child welfare system. They asked the Fifth Circuit to reconsider, and 5 judges on the Fifth Circuit actually voted in favor of rehearing this argument. One judge wrote in his dissent, he believes at minimum that their reasoning for removing Jack did not meet the high threshold that's necessary under the law to remove a judge. However, 9 of the judges on the Court of Appeals declined to rehear the case, and that's landed us where we are this week. Now, Will, some of the parties in the case tell us that the Fifth Circuit has indicated to the parties her reassignment could become official by next week, and then after that, a replacement would be chosen because the case isn't necessarily going anywhere.
All right, all these twists and turns, but we appreciate you tracking this for years now and for sharing this update. Thanks so much, Avery.
Thanks, Will.